Hey, it's Pat from PopularMMOs.com, and I'm doing a features video for Forsaken World. And I'm going to show you the types of dungeons in the game, I'm going to show you the crafting, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the PvP. And the first thing I want to show you guys is the auction house in this game. And there really isn't a lot to show you, but the auction house is really easy to use. You can search right here by the keyword, or you can just click on one of these and you can search right for your class, and everything comes up. So it's pretty easy to use, nothing really special, but just wanted to show you that. One of the cool things about Forsaken World is there's a lot of different types of dungeons in the game, and that's what I want to show you guys mostly. See, they're organized by gear instance, event instance, PvP instance. So the cool thing about this is there's actually dungeons completely made just to gear up your character, and there's other dungeons that are specifically for gaining experience, help level up your character. And there's also cool dungeons like Nightmare Carnival, which are basically like a bunch of games to play. And you can queue for all these dungeons from anywhere in the world. So we're gonna apply for one of these, and I'm gonna show you how some of these work. One interesting thing I want to show you guys while I wait for the queue to go is this thing right here, and this gives you a little bit of bonus experience when you use it, and gives you a random buff, and you could use that once every hour. And right now it gave me a buff, but actually didn't give me a buff, so sometimes you might not get anything, but most of the time you're going to get some kind of buff. Alright, so the queue went, and the queues go really fast in this game because there's actually a lot of players. It only took me a couple minutes for the queue to go. So basically the Nightmare Carnival is a series of mini games, and in this first one you're supposed to follow this across the gas cloud, or you'll die if you don't stay in it. The second room in this instance is actually a game of Simon Says, pretty much. And this guy's going to tell people in your group things to do, and you have to follow exactly what he says. The cool thing about this instance is it's much different than any other instance you've probably played in any other MMORPG. And that's why it's pretty fun to do compared to just fighting monsters. At least it gives, a different feeling to the game, if you know what I mean. Okay, so now I'm in the third room. And in this one of the Nightmare Carnival, you actually have to do a mathematical game where you actually have to get to weigh the right amount in each one of these scales. And it's pretty easy to do, though. And there's another room after this one. And there's even a higher level Nightmare Carnival for people who are higher level. But I don't have enough time to actually show you everything. So I'm going to go and I'm going to show you another one of the types of dungeons now. The next type of dungeon I'm going to queue for is going to be Emperor's Canyon, and this is a gear dungeon, so this is pretty much going to be the normal kind of dungeon you're used to in most MMOs. And while I'm waiting for the queue, I'm going to show you a couple other things. In this game you do have a pet that's going to help you in battle, and you could have multiple pets but only one out at a time. I mean, it's pretty cool to have a pet system in the game, so let me show you. So this turtle is going to help me in battle. It's nothing really special, but yeah, it's part of the game. Another thing to show you guys while I wait is that there is a talent tree in this game, and I actually like this in games because it gives you a way to customize your character to your liking. So basically there's talents here to pick to choose which way you want to go with your character. If you want to go towards more towards healing, more towards DPS, you know what I mean. Alright guys, so now I'm in Emperor's Canyon, and as I said before, this is pretty much the same type of instance you're going to see in most games. And there's going to be like 4 bosses or something like that, and it's going to give you a good chance to gear up in the game. And one thing I wanted to show you guys while I'm here is that the skill animations in the game are actually pretty nice. As you can see people attacking, the skill animations, they look pretty good in this game, and that's one of the things I like about the game, other than, it has nice graphics also, good skill animations, and I really like that there's, different types of dungeons in the game. I'm not going to go through the whole dungeon. I'm actually going to show you the other type of dungeon in the game now, which is the ones that are specifically made to give you experience. Alright, so the last type of instance I'm going to show you guys is going to be made just to level up your character. So it's not going to have real good gear drops, but it's going to give you a lot of experience. So right now I'm going to queue for God's Trial, and you should really do this every day if you're trying to level up your character. And in a game like this, Forsaken World, which has a really high level cap, you're going to want to try to at least get your character leveling up pretty quickly. Alright guys, so now I'm in God's Trial, and in this type of dungeon it gives you a ridiculous amount of experience, but there really isn't a lot to it. Pretty much there's going to be a bunch of mobs to fight, and you pretty much just grind on them for a while, and they each give a lot of experience, so your character's going to level up really fast. And at the end of the dungeon there'll be one boss fight, but there really isn't a hell of a lot to this type of dungeon. Pretty much just grind on these mobs, for like 20 minutes. That's about it, really. But, you know, it does give a nice variety to the game, that not all dungeons are exactly the same, and that's really the part that I like about it. So guys, one thing I wanted to talk about in Forsaken World is PvP. And the game really isn't centered around PvP. The game really is more about doing dungeons and stuff like that. I mean, there is a little bit of player versus player in the game. There are guild versus guild battles, which is pretty much going to be a battleground type battle with your guild versus another guild. And there's also arenas, but arenas, they're pretty much death matches, and they're not available until you are decently high level in the game. So I'm not going to bother leveling my character all the way up to show you that. I just want to give you a good review of the game, and this game really isn't centered around PvP. So if you still want to give this game a shot and you really love PvP, I would suggest joining a PvP server. One of the last cool features I wanted to talk about in Forsaken World is its job system, and the jobs are pretty much the skills you can learn in this game. And you could learn quite a few of the skills, and here's the list of them. There's botanist, alchemist, chef, fisherman, socialite, miner, artisan, adventurer, arcanist, tamer, merchant, scavenger, weaponsmith, armorsmith, and jewel crafter. And a few of these are actually pretty unique to MMOs, and one I wanted to mention would be socialite. And socialite's a skill I haven't seen in any games. And it pretty much involves interacting with NPCs, and it's going to teach you a little bit more about the lore of the game, and you're going to do tasks for NPCs. I mean, it's a little bit different than any skills you're going to see in most games. That's why I think it's pretty cool to see. There's also other skills like Tamer, which is going to teach you to tame different kinds of unique pets for your character. Socialite's probably one of the cooler ones, so I'm going to explain a little bit more about how it works. So basically this guy Rio, and this is in the main city Freedom Harbor, he's going to give you special quests, and following these quests are pretty much going to be interacting with NPCs, learning more about the game and the world around you, which is pretty cool. And also I wanted to mention, while I'm doing this, that the game does have an auto move system, and it's really easy to use. As you see right here, all I have to do is click on the character's name that I need to move to, and it will move me right to it, and it works perfectly. And also, open up the map here. If I click anywhere on this map, I can make my character move to there. So it's one of the cool features of the game. I like to be able to use auto move, because sometimes, every once in a while in a game, you'll get that quest where you'll be a little bit confused and can't figure out exactly where you want to go. And that's when it's nice to have a feature like this. Anyways, guys, this is about all I want to mention about the features in Forsaken World. And as you can tell, there's some pretty cool features in the game, cool dungeons and stuff like that. So if this is a game you want to check out, you should. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out popularmmos.com. Feel free to comment. See ya.